I'm going to plug this little guy in and see what kind of response we get from the front panel. Go ahead and plug her in. Okay, what do we get? What do we get? Okay, it seems to like what we've got. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Yeah, I think I have to turn it on to do any kind of a test. Okay, let's go ahead and hold the test button. It looks like the test went okay. You know what? I'm just going to stand here for a few minutes and see if that flashing green will go to a solid green. Let's just stand here for 2 minutes and see what it does. Look at that, it does eventually go to a solid green. Smart. Okay, we can turn this little guy off. Now that it's off, we can go ahead and unplug her. Okay, today is Saturday, June 18th, the day before Father's Day, and what I'm hoping to accomplish today is I've got these two uninterruptible power sources. They are called online uninterruptible power sources. They're the Minuteman CPE1000 product, and I bought them used years ago. I don't know if I've ever used this one. I don't know if this might have the original batteries, the original, whoever I bought it from. It's conceivable I've never used this one yet, but I bought it so many years ago, I'm not sure if the batteries, it's possible I've put batteries in there and they've just worn out and then it sat in my apartment for a while, or it's possible that this one just never got used since I bought it because I didn't have fresh batteries to put into it in the first place. This one I've used for several years. It's actually been at in my dad's office, and then my mom's computer desperately needed a cleaner power supply, so we moved this one into my mom's office from my dad's, and then I took one of my own power supplies, uninterruptible power supplies, an online uninterruptible power supply, and I put that into my dad's office. My dad doesn't like how loud, mine is a little bit more powerful, but it's also louder than these. So for Father's Day, which is tomorrow, I'm hoping to get both of these running again so that both my parents will have quiet online uninterruptible power supplies. Now the reason I'm saying online is a lot of uninterruptible power supplies don't actually operate until the power goes out. In other words, the circuitry that provides the power during a power outage is always off until the power goes out, and then as soon as the power goes out, it flips on very quickly to provide power to your computer or whatever electronic device it's protecting. The beauty of an online uninterruptible power supply is an online uninterruptible power supply. You are always using the circuitry that you will use even in an emergency. But the batteries are constantly charging at the same time. And what that means is when the power goes out, instead of switching over to the circuitry that will get you through the power outage very quickly, instead of doing a very quick switch over, you're already using the circuitry that's going to continue to power your electronic equipment. So just wanted to clarify why I'm making such a big deal about the fact that these are online uninterruptible power sources, uninterruptible power supplies. And just to recap, the circuitry that you'll be using, that these will be using during the emergency, is the same exact circuitry that's being used even when the power is on. The only difference is when the power goes out, you're already switched over to the battery power. So there is no real small chunk of time where the computer is receiving absolutely no power. I hope that makes sense. Anyhow, I'm going to move one of these off my work table and then begin the job. So, since I know that this one here is one that I've already replaced the batteries on, I'm going to do this one first. So I'll move this one off the table. Now I know that the other one, the one that I just put in the other room, is missing 3 of these little screws that I'm going to be taking off. So about 40 minutes ago I went to Ace Hardware and picked up little screws so that both supplies will have screws where they're supposed to be all the time. So, okay, let's give this one a shot. And so that's where I just put a little paper towel on the kitchen counter. That's where I'm going to put my screws so that I can keep track of them without the likelihood of them falling away from my work area into an area that I can't find them. I see an issue already. So the area where I'm putting the little screws, I'm putting them on a paper towel. That paper towel has a roll to it where wind could get under it. I've got my window open and a little breeze could get under that paper towel and knock all my screws out. That would defeat the purpose of putting them in a safe spot. So what I did is I put little paperweights on the 4 corners of the paper towel so that the wind doesn't it's not likely that a breeze will get under that paper towel and knock all my screws all over the place. And let's see, what kind of an image are you guys looking at? Okay. Now the screws that I bought from Ace Hardware should work, but they are a little bit longer than the screws that came with the device. And my concern is I don't want those longer, slightly longer screws to be long enough that they make contact with any of the electronic components inside the UPS uninterruptible power supply. So one of the first things I'm going to do once I get this open is just visually see, do I have a lot of space where these screws go so that the longer screws won't be problematic. Okay, so now I believe this should just slide right off. And we got some dust. I'm going to go ahead and vacuum that dust. And this, CS3. I'm not sure if I've ever been in this one or not yet. Well, the vacuum cleaner didn't get this as clean as I'd liked, so I'm going to use a microfiber towel to get some more of that dust out of there. I'm going to try to at least. Okay, that should be good enough. Let me vacuum some of this. Now I should have fairly easy access to the batteries. I'm going to grab a magic marker, or want to be sure to label these batteries as used. I'm starting to suspect that in one of my projects where I changed the transmission fluid on my Nissan Cube, I'm starting to suspect I may have reused used oil, used transmission fluid. And that may have contributed to the downfall of that cube. I got a feeling I did not mark the oil container that it was used oil, used transmission fluid. That hurts. That really hurts. What I just did is I just took the two screws. What I just did was I took the two screws. So we've got this band that holds the batteries in place. These are the three batteries, 1, 2, and 3. We got this metal band that holds them in place, and there's two screws, one right here and one up a little bit higher over there. Those two screws hold this band in place. So now I should be able to swing this band open. Just got to twist it down a little bit to swing it open. Don't want to hit both of those contacts at the same time because that would cause a short circuit. Okay, so then I was able to just lift this band out, set it off to the side. Let's go ahead and get this camera. Okay, I'm going to pull off this. Obviously my uninterruptible power supply is turned off. The fact that it's not, I don't think I have ever been in here. Look at that, we got a broken battery. This is probably the original batteries. And I believe that because I don't think I've ever seen these CS3 labels on any of the batteries that I've ordered as replacement batteries. Let's see what they're rated. 12 volt, 7.3 amp. Somebody replace, is that 7.2 or 7.3? 7.2. Okay. I still think that these are probably replacement batteries, because I see a broken one here. So I don't think I've ever been in this, and I'm thinking somebody else might have. Okay, so I'm pulling off these two connectors, moving that out of the way. I should be able to just take this battery and mark it as used. I'm going to do it upside down. And it's got this nifty label on it. So I'm just going to write used. say 2022, because today is June 18th, 2022, and now we'll write it with the marker. Most of the batteries, like I said, I've never seen a battery with a label like that, so I don't think I've ever been in this unit before. So now we'll just mark it. They're all going to sit right side up. Just hope it doesn't ooze anything. So remove June 18th, 2022. Minuteman CPE1000. Okay, need a box. I think this box will be a good receptacle for these for the time being. Okay. Let's see if this one's cracked too. You know what? I want to get my phone so I can take a picture of how these are connected. Okay, so I've removed a battery. I had reset my camera because it only records 20 minutes at a time. But what I just did is I took a picture, a photograph. I didn't realize I didn't turn my camera back on. I removed this battery, and then I took a picture showing that we've got a white wire going from the negative terminal of this battery up to the positive terminal of this battery, and we've got this white wire which goes from the negative terminal of this battery over to the battery that's been removed from here already. So now I'll go ahead and disconnect this one, disconnect this one. Come in, stinker. I need my other hand. There we go. And then we can remove this one. There we go. Then when this battery comes out, it'll just have the one wire. Okay, let's get this one out of here. It too has broken. I wonder if this sat outside and froze or something. Go ahead and put the same stuff on it. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in this uninterruptible power supply before. Because I've never had one fail catastrophically, and this looks like it was a catastrophic failure. So, removed from I'm going to call this one MM2 because this is my second Minuteman. It kind of looks like a 1. There we go. Minuteman 2. On June, what is today? 18th, 2022. Okay. And this will go right into that box. We don't have a catastrophic failure on this battery. Removed from Minuteman 2 on June 18th, 2022. Huh, yes, this one, well, that doesn't mean anything. Okay. Got more dust in here, so I'll go ahead and hit it with the vacuum. And let's get the new batteries. So I removed 3 batteries, and I'm working on 2 of these, so it would make sense that in this box should be 6 replacement batteries. Let's go ahead and, I don't have my keys. Go ahead and open this. I ordered my replacement batteries from a place called Battery Sharks. That's where I've been getting them for years. They seem to do a good job for me. Yep, these are the same batteries that I used on the other one. 2.5 amp, no, I'm sorry, 7.5 amps, 12 volts. And it says constant voltage charge. I think I like that because I may not know what I'm talking about here, but these batteries are constantly being charged. And I'm thinking that that means that it's compatible with a device that constantly charges the batteries, or that's constantly in control of the charging process of the batteries. Anyhow, I'm going to get this going again. I'm glad I took the picture I'm pretty sure this battery is going to go in this direction. Okay. So this first battery is going to go like this, I believe, with this one connected like that. The box might be in the way. Okay, so I've got my first one connected now. Let's pull out the second battery. Now I expect that when I connect the final terminal on my third battery, there's going to be a spark, because I expect that these batteries came with a partial charge, a significant partial charge. Okay, so this is going to go like that. I haven't connected my red one yet. Okay, so the first battery is now connected. Now we'll do the second battery, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in place just in case it's hard to slide in there later. I don't expect it's going to be hard to slide it in later. Okay, so now we'll connect this battery. That feels like it's good and secure. That feels like it's good and secure. Go ahead and squish those two batteries close together. And now it's time for the third battery. What I didn't do, I didn't check the second battery just to verify. And my eyes are not what they used to be. Yep, 12 volts, 7.5 amps, T2, excellent. Okay, same battery. Let's check this third one, make sure it's... Yeah, got another box within the box. Sure that this battery is like the other two. 12 volt, 7.5 amp, T2, constant voltage charge. Looks good to me. Okay. Go ahead and take off the two little caps, put them on the old batteries. again, I expect there's going to be a spark. I want to be careful because I got a device right here. Don't want to crowd it. Okay. Here goes the second to the last connection. That's connected, feels good and secure. And now we'll do the final connection, and again, I expect there's going to be a spark when I do this. So I'm going to try to do it all in one motion and without pulling it away as I see the spark. Because once the spark happens, I don't want to have to redo the spark a second time. So all one motion, let's get this done. Here goes. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, it's connected. I think we can, at this time, go ahead and remove this box and here's the thing. If I reassemble it, I will have jinxed the project and this will not work because I will have jinxed the project. So before I reassemble it, I'm going to plug it in and test it. Like I said, I can honestly say I have never been in this machine before, so I'm hoping that there's not something horribly wrong with this used machine that I had bought. All right, we got good things happening. You can probably hear the fan is running. There's the fan. You can see on the front, we got lights doing a sequence. Let's give it some time. Go ahead and power it up. You know what, I'm going to reset my camera first because we're already at almost 16 minutes and it only runs for my camera only runs for 20-minute chunks of time. Okay, so now we're starting another run on the camera. I don't know, I think I have to hit the power button in order to get it to what time is it? It's 3:17. I want to get the other one done too before I have to go to work. I'm delivering pizzas tonight. I'm going to go ahead and unplug. Now that I know that the machine works, at least, let's not jinx it. Okay, I believe it's on right now and the inverter is working, which means it's ready. Even though the batteries are probably not fully charged at this point in time, this machine seems like it's ready to work. Let's do a test. Okay, it looks to me like it's saying that the test is satisfactory. So I think I can go ahead and button this one back together and work on the other one before... Oh, I still got to take a shower. Yeah, I can still get to work on time. I can still get the other one done and still get to work on time. Okay, I'll go ahead and turn this off. I hope... Let's see if I can make that stop flashing. I think if I just turn the power off, there we go. I'll go ahead and unplug. All right, I can go ahead and button this little puppy up. What I didn't do, I didn't check yet to see. So the screw comes in here, another screw comes in there, another screw comes in there, and another one comes in there. So I'm going to say this hole, and that hole right there can each accept a slightly longer screw without anything bad happening. So those are where I'm going to put the slightly longer screws, the ones that I just bought at Ace Hardware about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. So how can I'll remember. Okay, let's go ahead and get this in place. Go. Screwdriver. Okay, both of those are good and tight. Let's go ahead and put this back on. So it's going to slide forward. Got to be careful of this black strap. That black coating is to help protect the wires, but I know from having changed the batteries on the other one that this edge can gouge right into that black strap. So I want to kind of push down the black strap and lift up a bit on the housing as I slide them together. Then I've got to push these sides inwards so that the front will go into the plastic housing, like that. Okay. Now I'm going to start by flipping it over. I'm going to say the better way to do this is to loosely put these two screws in loosely first. Not even snug yet. It's in there most of the way, but it's not snug yet. That's because when I go to the other 4 screws on the bottom, I want these to be able to adjust. So still not snug yet, but in most of the way. Now I can flip this over. And this one, and this one are the ones that are the safest for a slightly longer screw to go in. So this one's going to get the original style screw. Okay, not snug yet, but most of the way in. Then I've got, instead of just screws, these ones that I bought from Ace that are a little bit longer. The heads on them are not quite as wide as the original screw, so I bought washers also. So go ahead and put the screw with the washer. Grab my screwdriver. Got to push it down so that the housing lines up with the hole. And again, even though these screws are a little bit longer, I feel confident that they're not going to hit anything. They're just going into open space. So now I've got 3 normal screws that can go into my other unit, which is missing 3 screws. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and tighten the 2 that are in back. That's going to pull this all the way forward. First one is snug. Now this one is snug. Now it's tight. Now the first one is tight also. Now I can flip it on its side and tighten all of these. That's tight. That's tight. That's tight. And that's tight. I've already eaten. I don't need to eat anything else before I go to work. So, my kitchen countertop, I'm going to go ahead and place this on my kitchen countertop so I can charge it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. I don't know if it charges just because it's plugged in or if I need to turn it on for it to charge. I would imagine it charges all the time that it's plugged in, but I don't know that for sure. And I really want to be able to drop this off for Father's Day. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. I know for a fact it's got to charge while it's turned on, so. I should say, I know for a fact that there's no doubt that any time it's turned on, it will be charging. What I don't know is if I turn it off, does it still charge? I would expect it would, but I don't know that. Okay, this is ready to go. It's going to charge while I'm at work tonight. Time to get the other one. Oh, before I do that, let's mark this as Minuteman number 2. Okay. Because that's the second one that I've bought. And it looks like it's going to be a good one. The first one that I bought I know is a good one because I've already replaced the batteries on it years ago. And I'll go get that one right now. Oh, and here's the 3 extra screws. The one that I worked on years ago was missing 3 screws. It should have a total of 6. It's only got 3 for the housing, so here's the 3 that are going to go into the other one. Okay, I'm going to get the other one. This one, on the back side there's only 1 screw, even though it's got a spot for 2 screws. And then under here, there's only 2 screws, even though it's got spots for 4 screws. The other screw is in my shirt pocket because I took it with me to Ace so I'd know what size to get. Okay. Open this little guy up. Clean off the dust. See, we got some dust right there. See if I can find the gouge. Yeah, right here is the gouge. So, years ago when I put these batteries in there, right here is where I made a gouge. So that's why now I know I have to be a little extra careful when I'm sliding the housing back in place. I'm going to restart the camera again. Okay, so now the camera has I've restarted the camera, and I also noticed that the battery was about to run out on the camera, so I replaced the battery on the camera with an extra battery. Okay, so now we're on the second machine. Go ahead and show you where the screws are that hold the battery retaining strap. So here's the battery retaining strap. Those are the two screws right there. One is right here. And the other one is slightly above it over here. Go ahead and pull those out. Now these batteries are nowhere near dead. They're several years old, but they're not. They still have some punch to them. So I'm expecting that these batteries, when I pull this one off, might make a spark. Nope, no spark. Okay. Okay, where's my marker? Let's go ahead and label this one immediately as N1, because that's the first Minuteman that I bought. We'll label this as MM1. And we'll label this removed from MM1 on June 18th, 2022. Don't know if the camera will pick that up. But I'll do that for all three batteries. Removed from MM1 on June 18th, 2022. Man, that's really aggravating to think that it's possible that I might have destroyed my transmission on my cube by simply not marking carefully the fact that I had put old transmission fluid back into the transmission fluid bottle, and then years later went and reinstalled. Oh God, if that's what I did. Oh, do I feel like an idiot. anyhow. Whether I did destroy it that way or didn't, it seems to me that this is a good habit to get into, of marking where did the old things come from. So obviously we got some dust buildup in here. Go ahead and get the vacuum. Okay. Leave. Go like this? Probably not. You probably go like this. I would believe the red would go to the red. Oh, I didn't check it. Yes, we do have a 12 volt, 7.5 amp hour T2 constant voltage charge. Go ahead and put this in there. Red one's connected. White one's connected. Feels good and secure, but it doesn't feel like I've put it in the right way. The right one is connected and now it feels like it's put in the right way so that this naturally wants to come up to the other battery. Okay. Check the battery specs. We got a 12 volt, 7.5 amp T2, constant voltage charge. Looks like a good one to me. Pull off the little caps. Little caps go in here. Okay. So we go from that negative to this positive, but before we do that, let's go over here. There we go. Connecting these in series as opposed to parallel. They both feel, that one feels a little bit loose. It is connected. Okay. It feels good. Good and connected. Let's go get the third battery. Oh, something seems wrong here. I reinstalled an old battery. I must have reinstalled an old battery. I think this battery is an old battery. I don't think I marked it. I think when I did the vacuum, I neglected to recognize that this was an old battery that I should have marked. How can I verify that? It doesn't have any kind of a stamp, but when I used this battery, I pulled off new battery protectors. This has to be the old one. And it's got dust. It's got dust right here. I bet if I swipe my finger across that, the dust will come right off. Yep. This is the old battery. So easy to do. What I did to that transmission. And the first time I changed the fluid on that cube, it came out so clear. I bet that's what happened. Oh man. Okay. Removed from MM1 on June 18th, 2022. I almost put the old battery right back into this thing. Let me go get another one. Okay, so now we got a new battery. It's going to go into this spot, and it's going to go in this position, and it's got the little protectors. How is it that I'm missing protectors? How is it that I'm missing a pair of protectors? I don't understand that. second one. That looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not missing a pair of connectors because this next battery is going to have a pair on it. And as you can see, the brand new batteries have no dust on them. So clearly, when I went to vacuum, my mind shifted away from the fact that I had an old battery here that looks identical to these brand new ones because I had been the one who changed it last time, and the last time I changed them I used the same battery company of Battery Shark, so they sent me, there was no visual way to know other than the dust that I had reinstalled an old battery. Anyhow, we're going to verify we've got 12 volts, 7.5 amps, T2, constant voltage charge. Looks like a good one to put in here. Here's my two protectors that I thought I was missing. I'll go on here. And now I am definitely expecting a spark when I connect the second connector. So there's the first connector, good and secure. Here goes the second connector. Oh, we got to get these wires so that they're not fighting for space. There we go. Again, I want to do one swift, smooth action of connecting this because I do expect a spark since these batteries have partial charges as I connect them. But I want to minimize how many sparks I make, so we're going to do this and we're going to do it. It's going to happen. There we go. No spark. And it feels loose. Let me get a little pair of pliers. Okay. I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to remove this battery. I'm going to pull this one out. I'm going to remove, that connector feels like it's got some good grip to it. That feels like it's got some good grip to it. Those feel like they got some good grip to them. This one feels pretty loose. Let's squish it down. Okay. I think I squished too tightly. No need to hurry, I still got time. Let's try to expand it a little bit. That's not what I wanted to do. Dang it. There we go. See if we can get that connector to go on to the clip Okay, the camera ran out of time. I'm not sure where it ran out of time, but I'm going to plug this little guy in and see what kind of response we get from the front panel. It's 3:57, and I would like to be in the shower usually by 4 o'clock. I gotta pull this forward a little bit. Go ahead and plug her in. Okay, what do we get? What do we get? Okay, it seems to like what we've got. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Yeah, I think I have to turn it on to do any kind of a test. Okay, let's go ahead and hold the test button. It looks like the test went okay. You know what? I'm just going to stand here for a few minutes and see if that flashing green will go to a solid green. Let's just stand here for 2 minutes and see what it does. Look at that, it does eventually go to a solid green. Smart. Okay, we can turn this little guy off. Now that it's off, we can go ahead and unplug her. And let's get the housing back together. Put the battery band back in place, but at least we tested it and everything seems to be working well. Mom will get a renewed uninterruptible power source, and Dad will get another quiet uninterruptible power source. He's going to like it. I think it's going to be a good Father's Day gift. Let's get this band into place. Get these wires so that they don't get pinched. There we go. You're both in most of the way. Now I'll just go ahead and snug them up and tighten them. Snugged and tightened. Okay. Now, go ahead and put the housing back on. Be careful not to gouge the ribbon. So we got this ribbon here. I don't want to gouge it. So I'm going to push it down a bit and lift up on the housing while I slide. Then I gotta squish the sides in so that it can go forward into the plastic housing. There we go. Okay. 2 little screws for the back. Get the holes to line up. Okay, not tight yet. Oops, the other screw is right here. Okay. They're in most of the way, but they're not snug, they're not tight, just in most of the way. So I can go ahead and flip it. That'll allow me to align these screws. In most of the way, not snug, not tight. Now I gotta move this back a little bit to get those holes to line up. Okay. I need a flat blade screwdriver. Or a knife. Being in the kitchen, I got a knife. That's not going to help. Okay, the easiest way for me to get this screw to line up is for me to tighten this little guy in. It's about as lined up as I think I can get it. Aha! We got a stripped hole there. Okay, let's get this one. Okay, snugged. 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 Stripped. But I still got to tighten this guy. So I'm going to loosen. 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 This really isn't going to loosen because it's stripped, but there we go. Now we can tighten this little guy. Make sure this one's tight. And tight. 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 go ahead and get this one charged up on the other kitchen counter, right over there. And I gotta take a shower so I can get to work without stinking. I haven't plugged it in yet, but I'll go ahead and move this camera so that it shows what the lights do. And I'll go ahead and plug it in. Looking pretty happy. Go ahead and turn it on. And now I feel confident that they are both charging. And it means Dad will have a nice Christmas or a nice Father's Day gift. Mom will have her uninterruptible power supply back in place. Everything is good. I'm going to go ahead and take my shower and head out to work. That's it. Bye.